Never gonna give you up. Never gonna let you
I think.
down.
Well, before we get
Never gonna
copyright
turn
striked already in the first
around
10
and-
seconds.
Yes,
we're already. This video's already been taken down.
Never gonna say
Joe started right off with it.
Fuck your copyright.
Yeah, suck it on in, Joey.
your
Get
go
on over
boy.
here.
Where's your go, boy?
Or actually, just like back up like half an inch. No, like this way.
You said back up. So
Yeah, like
back
towards
up.
Steve.
But
Like
that's
that.
to the left.
Yeah, that's what I meant. Because you can pull the mic for it.
What? I got nothing for you. Never gonna give you up.
Boom!
Oh, we
you,
can't
Joey.
do it.
Damn
we
you,
can't
Joey.
do it. We can't do it.
Yeah, don't do it. Don't do it. We're
Don't
gonna
do
play
it.
some music though.
Don't do it.
Don't
We're
do
gonna-
it.
Don't do it.
Don't do it.
It's good to be back.
It feels so good to be back.
I'm ready. I'm ready. I'm ready.
Hey, did you hit record?
No, not yet.
Oh, so we're just in our YouTube world right now.
We're just dancing it out. We're getting going.
We're just getting going.
Just getting warmed up.
Loosening up the vocal cords.
We're gonna hit it. We're gonna hit it down though.
We're gonna hit it now.
It's good to be back with my friends. Yeah, back again to die on this hill with my friends, Mr. Joey D, Mr. David Hastings,
What up, everybody?
What up?
Mr. Louie here, joining us in studio, hanging out.
Filled with energy.
Wants to
today.
get involved. I
Filled
hope
with
everybody
energy.
gets involved. And while you're getting involved, if you're catching the beginning of the stream here, do us a favor. Subscribe, like, share, do all those things for us. We'd really appreciate it. Can't hurt to do, and it just helps us out.
And we
Doesn't
already-
cost a dime either. So you're already watching, just hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. And yeah, help us boost this audience. Also, Facebook-wise, join on Facebook as well at Die on This Hill. And help us get to 100 so we can start streaming live there as well. So, starting the show there today. And yeah, how you fellas doing?
It's Tuesday.
It doesn't, to me, it hasn't felt like a Tuesday. This whole week's been off to me. I have no idea what day of the week it is. It's just been a weird week.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, no, I've been going since 6 o'clock this morning, so it feels like a Tuesday.
Oh, no, I've been going since this morning. I'm just saying, to the day, like, I just doesn't feel like a Tuesday. Like, I don't feel like I have the whole rest of the week still in front of me. I almost feel like it's like a Friday or Thursday. It's just got a weird vibe.
I really wish that was the case. I wish your feelings were reality. That would be nice.
Definitely didn't feel like a Monday.
Well, we already have a comment in the chat by Jeffrey Keating. He doesn't know how Hastings is still doing it after he had to watch the Commanders versus the Eagles in the NFC Championship game this past weekend.
My man Jeff. So Jeff's one of the few Cowboy fans that I work with, and we have suffered together all year.
Well, if Jeff doesn't know, I'm also a Giant fan here, so it's not exactly easy for me to watch that game either. I'm just gonna throw it out there because I mean,
It was awesome for me.
Saquon, what 100 and whatever, 118 yards, what 3 touchdowns on 16 or 18, like he a beast.
His first carry of the game was a
60-yard
60-yard
touchdown.
touchdown. Like, I
60-yard
mean, come
touchdown.
on, bro. Like the Commanders had to execute a 15-play drive to put 3 up on the board, and the Eagles were just like, "Here, Saquon."
There's gonna be no worse soundbite to this season than Hard Knocks with Mara saying, "Don't make me regret this." Like,
And this is Mara's worst nightmare coming
true.
it's every Giants fan's worst nightmare.
Mara's
Like,
without a doubt a
everybody
huge fan
wishes
this weekend.
Saquon well. Nobody wished him to go to the Super Bowl and win, though. I'll tell you that.
I'm rooting for him hardcore to win the Super Bowl. I'm not gonna lie. I want
Well, I mean,
him to
before
win a
we
ring.
get to the Super Bowl, though, let's talk about this game for a second because everybody was high on Jaden Daniels going into this game. Everybody thought he will, after what he did against the Lions, and it was the Jaden Daniels show. Like, he was everywhere. He was the guy being talked about. And instead, it's Barkley, it's Hurts, it's that Eagles offense, which, by the way, we're going to fight again. Me and you, we're going to go at it toe-to-toe because you can't tell me
Jalen
he
Hurts
didn't-
played the best game I've seen him play probably all season long. He
But
actually played a good game. He played quarterback. He threw the ball. What a concept.
He threw the ball and he ran the ball. I think he had, 2 or 3 rushing touchdowns himself. I think they had 7 rushing touchdowns on the day.
Yep.
Yeah.
And he threw for another one. So, I mean,
He threw for 2.
Yeah.
He hit A.J. Brown twice.
That's what I mean. So, I want you to,
Congratulations. You did it one time, but you did it in the most important game of your season. He played a great game. But to go
He's
back
not
to
afraid of the big
to go
moment.
back to your original
Where
statement,
Jaden Daniels
Jaden Daniels was the only guy who showed up and actually played for Washington.
I'll agree.
I mean, he literally was the only guy that looked ready for the moment. Every turnover they had, but except for the interception towards the end of the game when he's just trying to get a quick score.
Except for the interception, but it's still an interception.
I'm with Dave though. Like the Commanders went from a 3-win team, number 2 overall pick, to the NFC Championship.
No.
game.
Their season as a whole is
amazing.
fantastic. So just tell you guys how my Sunday went. First part of my Sunday, I was at a christening. Well, my brother-in-law, Steven, is a massive Commanders fan.
Oh.
Grew up a Commanders fan, has Commanders memorabilia, was wearing it underneath his suit and everything else that he wore to the christening.
I respect that.
Socks, the whole bit. He texted the family beforehand, the day before, and asked us to please not give any facial expressions, not give him a score. He asked the restaurant not to put the TV on.
Oh, because he was
DVRing it at home.
Oh.
And he was like, I really want to I'd never get to see the Commanders make it this far. I never get to see them make it to this level. And I just want to go home and enjoy it. And so
I feel him
for
on that, but he definitely didn't enjoy it.
So I felt him on that too. And everybody there was really good. Nobody ruined his fun. Nobody spoiled it for him. Nobody was that jackass, thankfully. But he got to go home, and we were checking the score while we were there, though, and it was like never in front of him, never when he was around, and never gave any inkling of what was going on. But there were times where they were down a couple scores or whatever, and we'd be like, ooh, and I don't know how much he's going to enjoy it going home. But again, none of us spoiled it for him, and I hope that he did enjoy what he got to see. But I think he'll agree with you 100%, Joey. This season is unbelievable.
Great season, man.
Yeah, what the Commanders were able to achieve with a rookie QB, with a new head coach, and to get the whole thing turned around that fast, nobody saw coming. Nobody out there saw coming.
Agreed.
So I'm not taking anything away from Jaden Daniels and what that team did, but they weren't ready for this moment. And what they were, and I'm going to throw one more thing out. I think that a lot of times when you see teams, and I kind of expect this, and I'll tip my hand a little bit here with maybe the way I'm going with the Super Bowl, but a lot of times when teams have a massive win like this, like
you think
the Washington did before, against the Lions, I think sometimes you just may not come in with the same gas in the next game. Now there's a 2-week break. There's a 2-week break, and I think I'm wrong with that one. I think they're going to come in with a lot of gas. I think this is going to be a very good game, but it does did they? You just don't want to. You hope they didn't shoot their shot too early. You know what I mean? Like they didn't put all their points in one basket. They got to save a little bit there.
Yeah.
But I think they did. They only, Saquon carried it less than 20 times. I think they were able to hold some things, but this Washington team just wasn't ready for the Eagles. They weren't as good. To be honest, the Lions probably would have been a better matchup, but the Lions got smacked in the face the week before by the Commanders. They weren't ready. They kind of, I think, took the Commanders way too easy, and they paid the price for it, and Commanders ended up advancing their season. But if anybody expected them to go past this game, I think then, you really weren't looking at everything as well.
I think if you expected it, right, you were probably a little crazy. I mean, they had a puncher's chance.
Do I think they could get back here in future years? I do.
Yeah, I mean, look, Jay, I've said this about every quarterback I've ever watched play football. I said it about Dak Prescott. I say it about any rookie quarterback that has a great rookie year. You don't know what a quarterback really is until their third season. Because usually their first year, they come out, teams don't have tape on them. They're unable to figure out how NFL, the head coach and the coordinator are going to utilize the player's skills. Second year, they have tape on them, and then it's on to the quarterback. How much do they study tape? How much do they study the defenses? How much are they studying how the defense is game planning to stop them? They usually struggle in year 2. Year 3 is when it's all out on the table. You know how defenses are going to attack you. You know how you want to attack defenses, and it all boils down to that. Your third year, to me, as a quarterback, is really when I can sit there and say, hey, you are without a doubt, no ifs, ands, buts about it, a franchise quarterback. With that said, the way Jaden Daniels carries himself, his mentality, the way his teammates rally around him, the relationship that Dan Quinn is just able to build with his players in general, I think he is set up for a successful career, which as a Cowboys fan sucks, right? But for him, congratulations. But he was the only one that showed up and actually played a good game. Did he play a great game? No, but he was the only one that played a good game. The rest of that team, offensively, defensively, I mean, Terry McLaurin had one catch and run that was a hell of a play. But overall, the team, I don't even know if the coaching staff was ready for this game.
They were punching above their weight class.
Yeah, and this was just to have an opening drive like they did, 2 conversions on 4th down, but then you get a 4th and 5 and you're in field goal range, so you take the easy points. All right, cool. But then you put yourself in a position where the Eagles score on their first play and then you get the ball back and you have the opportunity to continue to wear on that defense. Early in the first quarter, going into the second quarter, you could have kept wearing that defense out, and instead 3 plays in that drive, if I remember correctly, they fumble the ball, the Eagles get the ball, they go down, they score another touchdown, now you're down 14-3 and you're playing catch up the rest of the game. That moment is what determined the rest of this game. There's no other way for me to look at it. That moment, that swing right there, and then the swing at the end of the second quarter, like those 2 things, they knew Philly was getting the ball to start the second half, and they turned it over again, set Philly up for another touchdown. And it just, at that point, when you're down, I think it was 27-15 going into half, with Philly getting the ball, you then force a 3 and out, and you turn the ball over again and let Philly go down to go up 34-15. Like, it just steamrolled on them, and it became too much. And Philly, top to bottom, inside and out, is too good of a team to spot basically, 19 points to with, a 2 1/3 of a quarter through the game. Not many teams in the league, if any teams in the league, are going to be able to come back from that. And again, Washington is a team nobody expected to be there. So I think when you end the year and the pain of this game and the loss of this game subsides, you can look back and still call this a successful year for Washington.
Oh, yeah.
Right? So that you got to give it to him. I can't tear them apart. But Jaden Daniels was really the only one that came prepared. And as a Cowboy fan, I just sat there and I'm like, oh, so the last 2 games that Dan Quinn coached the defense, he gave up 42 and now 55. Yet during the regular season, I don't know why he changes his strategy or how he goes about games, but yeah, that's really what I took out of this game. And again, I know we went back and forth last week. I still think Jalen Hurts is a running back playing quarterback, but overall, he had one of the best games I've ever seen him play at the quarterback position. He didn't turn the ball over. He was smart with his passes, and he played a smart game of football. And then that tush push, I hate that damn play. And
everybody does, but everybody does it. They do it in Buffalo with Josh Allen. They do it. Every team does it. So
if you want to be as successful as Philly, find a quarterback that can squat almost 600 pounds. Like, I mean, what else do you got to say about it? Like, and I am one of those people, right, where like I hate the play, but I do not agree with the idea of banning the play. Because you line up helmet to helmet, and it's win the line of scrimmage, and Philly knows it just executes better. I mean, they execute. I think 93% of the time they run that play, they get the first down.
But to me, there is precedent in there for them to put in a rule, because it's the same with, like, say, kick, where you can't have an unfair advantage where you have somebody over top of the nose or over top of the center. So there's nobody over top of the center for a field goal or anything like that. You can't, like, they've banned that. Why they ban it? Because, again, you could take advantage. You could rush that and knock them over, whatever, block away more kicks that way. It's kind of the same. Like, you shouldn't be able, if he can't have anybody in front of him, you shouldn't have anybody behind you pushing you. Like, you should be under your own power. Like, you shouldn't be able to be picked up by a lineman and carried 10 yards by a lineman. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like, that to me is where I think it is a little bit not unfair, because, again, it's in the rules now, the way it is. It's a completely legal play. But I do think that there is something in there that, because, again, it does take some of the fun out of it, but again, and maybe defenses need to adjust first. I don't know what the right answer is, to be honest with you. I think there's something that could be done, but what exactly it is, I'm not sure. I don't know if anybody in the chat, if you got any ideas on how they can improve this or do something different, definitely throw that in the chat.
I honestly don't think they do anything with that play until a big name player gets hurt. Like if Jalen Hurts, and they run that play and Jalen Hurts somehow injures himself where he's done for the year and it's week 2.
But if he got injured, it would be his own player injuring him.
I know, but that's what I'm saying. I don't see the NFL doing anything to change that play until they lose a big name player that impacts ratings. Again, right? What is one consistent thing we have always said about the NFL? It's about the dollars. Right, that they care more about money than anything else. They can talk about player safety, all that crap. They care about money more than anything else. And
but that's why they like this, to be honest. That's why they like this tush push, though, because it keeps the offenses on the field and it keeps drives going. If you took this play out of there, so to your point, exactly, the NFL probably doesn't want to put in a rule because it would probably hinder some offenses. You see how successful Philly is with it and how good their offense is. You see teams like Buffalo and other teams like, the Ravens, other teams out there that use this maneuver, and then you see how good their offenses are. Why? Because their offenses stay on the field. So, to me, it's an offensive league. All the rules are
chicks dig the long ball, right? I mean, it's the same mental concept of it.
It absolutely is, 100%. But I agree with you that I think the league would have to be forced into it, and it's not going to be a bunch of internet armchair quarterbacks that are going to do it.
No.
You know what I mean? But again, it does affect lines. It affects betting. It affects everything because, those are rushing yards. Those are, other things that,
Yeah. I mean, and then you look at the game overall, right? Philly, 36 carries for 229 yards at 6.4 yards.
They have about a 60 to 40 run to pass ratio, and to be honest, I really love that because if you watch, they did the same thing last week. They did the same thing the week before that. They do it every week. They run it 30 something plus times. They pass it about 25 plus times.
Why do they run it more than they throw it? Why? Because they're a better run team.
But that's okay. Some teams are better run teams.
Playing or running back playing quarterback.
No, they have a dual threat quarterback. That's what that's called. It's the new age of quarterbacks, the dual threat quarterback. More and more quarterbacks are becoming that. You look, Jaden Daniels was the leading rusher for Washington as well. Jalen Hurts clearly outplayed him. Clearly outplayed him. So last week when we were having our discussion, there was some hesitation that maybe Daniels was ahead of Hurts, and you were thinking that. I'm just saying that put him head to head. He performed well, but not as well.
I should remember.
And I'm just saying, it's a dual threat quarterback.
My response was, give me a couple years. There's no way I'm putting a rookie quarterback ahead of Jalen Hurts.
I'm just saying that.
But if
regardless,
Washington was
Jalen Hurts now has been to two. This is now Jalen Hurts' second Super Bowl. Unfortunately, he's going to have to face the Chiefs again. But I'm just saying, now he's twice to the Super Bowl. I mean, if you're a shitty quarterback, you may make one Super Bowl. You may be a Trent Dilfer who makes one Super Bowl. You may be a Rex Grossman who makes one Super Bowl. Name a shitty quarterback out there that's made multiple Super Bowl runs.
Off the top of my head, I couldn't do that for you.
Exactly.
I'm sure you could go back and find it. But again,
try to find it.
Not once did I call him a shitty quarterback. He just is a running back.
No, you said not top 10.
Exactly, because again,
and he is.
And I'm not going down this rabbit hole with you again, but once again, if you take the run game away from Philly and they cannot run the ball, Jalen Hurts is not going to lead them to a win.
But again, they wouldn't be able to run the ball if they had a guy like Stafford playing quarterback because they would be jamming the box with 8 people. So we could go round and round with this.
You just
without the dual threat. That's what makes Derrick Henry so valuable to the Ravens is the fact that Lamar takes pressure off him. That's what makes Saquon as good as he was this year is because Hurts takes pressure off of him. Without Hurts taking that pressure off of him, Barkley is what he was with the Giants, a really good running back, a top 4 or 5 running back.
Barkley was...
That's it.
Outside of Barkley's rookie year, he was never a top 4 or 5
Listen,
running back.
he always had that talent. Statistically, maybe not.
Yes,
maybe not, but talent-wise, he was.
That offensive line is the reason this team can run the ball the way they run the
ball.
ball.
And that offensive line who lost the in your mind, first ballot Hall of Famer, greatest lineman of all time, Jason
How many times
Kelce?
do you want me to admit I was wrong? I mean,
Just
Jesus Christ.
Just saying.
Like, oh my God.
Beating you up today, David. I'm coming in with the rights and the lefts. I'm coming in with the rights and the lefts. Taking you down. Anyway.
Anybody got anything in the chat? Joey, you really haven't said much about this game either, my man.
Shout out to Timmy and Ryan in the chat right now. Ryan, obviously, saying go Birds.
Hold on, wait. I got something for Ryan. Wait, that was not it.
That was not it, no.
Fuck the Eagles.
You got to get a different person saying that now because Drew Lock no longer under
Listen,
contract.
it's just...
You can record me saying it. My voice carries more than Drew Lock's. I will happily record that.
No, we got it. It doesn't matter who's saying it. The sentiment stands.
Shout out to Jake now in the chat room, too.
Shout out to Jake. But, yeah, so it's... This game, I mean, I don't know if Ryan has any thoughts on it, but the Eagles clearly outclassed the Commanders and, you know...
Oh my God! The amount of Eagles jerseys I saw in my office the last 2 days.
The only thing that was I can't say I was surprised by it, but I'm always a little disappointed by it. Was did you see some of the fans like outside of the stadium giving the business to like the Commanders? Like one of them, like these two Commanders fans walking down the street, and like a bunch of Eagles like fans surround him and heckle him. One guy steals his hat and runs away. Like just doing dumb things. Like. I think people out there celebrate it, rub the wind in their face, but, you know, as far as physically touching other people, how about we just relax?
What I thought was funny was the video of the tailgate where the Commanders fans and Eagles fans stood there chanting, fuck the Cowboys. And I'm like, why do you let Dallas just live rent-free in your head? Like, there's literally no reason to even be talking about Dallas. Like, I'm cool, I guess, you know, good for you guys getting along before the game, but, like, what was the purpose of that? Like, Dallas has been irrelevant since, like, week 9.
That was for TV. You know the producers probably got them together and just say, everybody start chanting Dallas sucks for the camera.
Like, it's just, I mean, as a Cowboys fan, you just sit there and you're like, dude, you just let us live rent-free in your head. Like, you guys are playing for a trip to the Super Bowl and you decide to spend 5 minutes chanting about the Cowboys in a game that they literally have nothing to do with. Found that very amusing. I just think it's too funny.
It's just a fan base, though. But not Ryan. I will say I'm not going to group Ryan in with some of those people. But
I don't know about that.
You put a couple beers in Ryan. You put him in.
Ryan just said there's always a reason to talk about Dallas.
Yeah, but Dallas ain't giving it to you. You're making it up on your own. I mean, Dallas has been irrelevant for God knows how long this season.
Speaking of giving it to you. Is there a point where we just say that Mahomes is Allen's daddy?
In the playoffs?
Because I mean, I'm gonna transition us there to that Sunday game. You know, and he could beat him in the regular season, clearly. But postseason Mahomes and postseason KC is a different beast, and I think that I think it comes down to two things. Not just Mahomes, not just the run that they're on, but year after year, was it McDermott, right? The coach gets a schooling from Andy Reid. Like Andy Reid is on a different coaching level. I'm sorry, than Sean McDermott. Like, and that's become clear because now
don't say you're sorry.
4 out of the last 5 years, or 4 out of the last 6 years, always the Bills season ends when they face the Chiefs. They can't beat Reed. Spagnuolo's defense finds a way to stop them when they need it. And this team just looks like a team that, again, all year long, we've said it, everybody out there has said it. They don't look impressive. They're barely beating teams, barely covered the spread in most games. Really not like a juggernaut team that you think a three-peat team would be, and even a team that's 15-2 would be. And they lost to this team in the regular season. Mm-hmm. So you think that the Bills would come in knowing they could beat them, but then in the end, they really can't. And whether it's in Buffalo or it's in KC, it doesn't matter. If it's in the playoffs, KC and Mahomes take it down every time. And I got to say, I don't hate it as much as other people. I mean, I was, you know, been quietly kind of pulling for the three-peat. You know, I think people could see that over the course of weeks listening here. That, you know, I'm closet Swiftie fan here and, you know, whatnot. And, you know, I just think that a three-peat would kind of be cool to see. We've never seen it in football. Now, granted, it's not my team doing it, which would be the ultimate, but there is a team out there, and they're good to watch. They're fun to watch. Sorry, the games are interesting. They find ways to win. They do. Everyone can say those ways they find are the refs, but again, I just look at it as, were there a couple questionable calls? Am I going to go as crazy as Dave Portnoy did? Putting out his rants on Barca. I'm not going to go that crazy. Do I think they kind of get skewed that way? Yeah, but do I think that Jordan got calls? I do. Do I think others big time people get calls?
Byron Russell will still tell you to this day Jordan shoved the hell out of him to hit that game winner in Game 6.
They get calls, but it's also because they've earned those calls, in my opinion. Like, they've gotten to a different level and they've earned some calls. Now, I think Mahomes flopping and some of the other things that he does is a little much. I'll agree with that.
He knows how to play the system.
But exactly, and again,
no,
you can't fault him for that. I mean, you see, the NBA is the same way. Guys flop all the time. See it in soccer. Guys flop all the time.
There's no sport worse than soccer, though, with the flopping. I mean, guys don't even get touched, and they drop to the ground. Oh, my shit. And they get that magic spray, and, they're fine. Pretty sure that stuff's just deodorant, but that's besides the point. I think... God, Joe, I took second on the last game. What do you got for this one before I start yapping?
No, you're totally fine, bro. There were a lot of mistakes in the game. You could say that the refs are on Kansas City's side, but that wasn't the case really for this game, man. I really think Buffalo just shot themselves in the foot. Josh Allen, I know, got hurt right before the half, so he was playing with a bad wrist for the whole second half. Nobody really knew about that. That came out later on in the game. That last play was just so tough, man. It just was. He did everything he could just to avoid the pressure. And unfortunately, Kincaid coming back for the ball, he just couldn't hold on to it. And it's little things like that are the difference in the games between Kansas City and Buffalo, because they're always like just a one-score game. Buffalo lost one year with 13 seconds left on the clock. Like, how is that even possible? Yeah. Like, it's just little things. So, what does Buffalo do from here? Like, do you go out and get out another stud receiver? Or do you fire McDermott and see if maybe a new coaching staff can get you over the hump and beat Andy Reid and company? I just don't know how this team gets over it, because it seems like you said, what is it, 4 of the past 6 years?
4 out of 5, I think. Other than the Bengals year.
4 out of 5, they've eliminated by the Chiefs. That's tough, man. You got to do something. You got to shake something up in the organization, because if you keep putting the same thing over and over again, that's the definition of insanity. And you got to just, I don't know. I don't know what you do.
Well, let's throw that question at a Mr. Erich Pfeiffer, who is joining us on the phone tonight. Joining us live. How you doing, sir? I don't know if you got any thoughts on Joey's question there of what can the Bills do in the offseason to get over this Kansas City hump?
I just think they got to I don't think they got to make any big, huge changes. To be honest, I think they have a good core. I think they got to revamp a little bit, maybe add a little depth on the defensive side of the ball. I think offensively they're looking pretty good. Maybe they need one big time wide receiver to make plays. That's not a cancer in the locker room, so to speak, or someone who's, you want a competitor, but you want a guy who's not going to make too many waves or throws the team off or, creates a divide. So I don't know. I don't think they have to do anything huge. I mean, obviously the coach has been successful. They do play in somewhat of an easy division right now. Miami's probably their biggest challenge, and obviously Miami didn't really have a very good year this year, but I don't know. I don't think they need to do too big of a shakeup. I just think they need to find those missing pieces. They need to figure out what the missing pieces are and find them. Maybe it's not a head coach problem. Maybe it's a general manager problem.
I agree with that to an extent. I don't know if it's even the general manager problem, because I look at it and like they've hit on guys like James Cook. They've done really well with Allen. They've been able to draft well. I think Keon Coleman, I'm wondering if he's a guy that you're thinking of that could maybe step up and be that wide receiver one for them. But Shakur, they've got some talent. So I agree with you that they got to really look in house and find out where they can get better, because they're a very good team. 13-4, they're consistently winning this division now. They've been, 4 out of the last 5 years, in the AFC Championship game. They've been doing really well, but at the same time, there's something wrong because they just can't get over this hump. So I agree with you. I don't think it's a total strip it down and rebuild or anything crazy like that. I don't think it's a big trade or anything. I think it's just a couple pieces they need to figure out.
You know what they should really do?
It.
You know what will put them over the hump? They should trade Josh Allen to the Giants.
Oh, yeah. That'll put him over the hump and 6 feet under.
I think
that'll get them where they want to go.
I would love that, to be honest with you.
In seriousness though, I think one of my big questions is when is Dalton Kincaid going to be this guy that we've been hearing about for the last couple of years?
I don't think he's going to be.
I think part of the offense they were relying on. Yeah, if ever, like when, if ever, is he going to be that guy that we've been hearing he's supposed to be? Because I think that's part of the reason they've built the offense the way they have, is they think this guy can be a big time playmaker. I'm just not seeing it.
I'm with you. I'm not seeing it either, and I don't know what they see exactly in him, because again, this is, I think, his 3rd year, and it's either 2nd or 3rd, but Kincaid.
Oh, second
year.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, but again, still, like, you'd expect by year 2 to have some kind of better improvement, and to be honest, I'm with you. I think they need to maybe rethink that. And again, if he's still on a rookie deal, when that rookie deal comes up, maybe you don't give him that, big money or anything, or maybe you try to go a different direction with the tight end position. But yeah, I'm with you. I just don't think he ever really ascends to what people thought he could be.
If you ask Amanda, he should be out of the league. She's had him on her fantasy team the last 2 years. Dropped him her first year, traded him her second year. And then she watched that, and she's like, I hate Dalton Kincaid. And she had literally no real rooting interest in this game at all. She just literally just hates Dalton Kincaid. So if you ask Amanda, shout out if you're out there listening a bit, but if you ask Amanda, he should not be in the league at all. I think he is an NFL tight end, but having that combo with her is a losing battle.
Now, let me ask you guys something, because there's one thing I'm noticing. Joey, I'm going to let you jump in next, but I just want to... Because the one thing we talked about the Eagles, that 60-40 split run pass, they kind of went 50-50 here. The Bills, 32 run, 34 pass. The way James Cook was running, why wouldn't they keep feeding that man the ball? He had a really good game for only 13 carries, 85 yards, 2 TDs. Like he was finding holes. He was making plays.
He was barely using the 4th quarter.
I honestly think you got to say why did James Cook and Josh Allen combine for only 24 carries?
Yeah.
Like, that's absurd to me. Like, combined, they should be over 30. Like, if you're going to have 32 carries in an AFC Championship game against Patrick Mahomes, like, the two of them alone should be over 30. Like, your team had 32 carries in the game. Like, the two of them should have been all 32 carries.
And on the flip side, Kansas City, 35 rush to 26 passing. So, I mean, or 25 passing. So, I mean, again, that balance, like, it leans a little bit more heavy run. It seems like that method and that way of working, these teams are winning. So, why wouldn't Buffalo, knowing that James Cook was running the way he was running, keep feeding that man the ball? I just don't get it. And again, that's where, to me, it comes down to a McDermott thing, because I just think every year after year, he gets outcoached.
So, I mean, this game, right, a lot of people basically say this game came down to 2 plays where when the people that want to say the refs are the reason the Chiefs win these games. It came down to the Xavier Worthy catch.
Which wasn't a catch. I'll agree with that. To me, that ball hit the ground.
And did Josh Allen get the first down on the tush push?
Well, let's go to...
third. Did Kincaid get the first down the play before?
Or see, that's what I mean. Like, so, like, there's these little moments, right? But that's like when you have a game in the AFC Championship that's decided by a field goal. It's those little, like, when they say call it a game of inches, right? That 1/10 of an inch between the ball and the ground, was it there or was it not there on the Worthy catch? the inch for Josh Allen or Kincaid, right? Did they get it? Did they not get it? Like, that's the separation of these two teams. And that's what you hope for as like, you're not a fan of either team, but a fan of the game. You just want to watch a good game. Like, you want it to be that tight. And you want it to be called fairly, and you want all these things. But overall, I mean, that one touchdown pass Mahomes threw while he was falling to the ground, crazy, right? Like, I just think when you watch this game and look at it and try not to be biased or anything like that, Kansas City just made more plays in crunch moments, and that's how you ended up with a 32-29 Kansas City win. That to me is really, if you're willing to step back and not try to nitpick the game and just say, hey, like, how'd this go? Kansas City made more clutch plays in the bigger moments, and that's what separated the two teams. I think that's really how you have to look at it. But I don't like, going back to Buffalo, what do they need to do? I do think you have to get a wide receiver that defenses feel like they have to double team. And I think you have to put yourself in a position defensively where you have a little more depth at linebacker. Because the Buffalo Bills defense really, when their linebackers play good, their defense is one of the best in the league. When their linebackers are injured or they're not playing well, that defense can get shredded apart. And that, to me, is really what you're looking at. But also, playoff Kansas City is just a different team than what you see in the regular season. So the fact that they went 15-2 in the regular season, you really are just starting to see them play their best football of the year. That's pretty crazy to think about, and it just lets you know that you have a team filled with veterans. I mean, Hollywood Brown, Juju Smith-Schuster, Kareem Hunt, Kelsey. Like, you got a veteran team that knows what they're doing. They can serve their bodies. They, maybe they give it 100%, but when they get to the playoffs, they find that extra 10%. I don't know how to explain it, but we've watched it 2 years in a row. This is the third year in a row we watched it where throughout the regular season, they weren't really blowing anybody out of the water. And then they get to the playoffs and this game was the first game they broke 30 points all year long. Like, that's crazy when you think of a Mahomes-led offense. First time all year they broke 30 points. So.
Well, and like, I texted you guys too. Like, you talk about those 2 or 3 plays. And, how I said I only got to watch the first half, and then I caught the highlight. I watched the highlights at our game. But, if you listen to professional athletes after games like that, as fans, we focus on those 2 or 3 plays. Every professional athlete will tell you that there's plenty of plays throughout the game that could have been made. And from what I saw in the first half, I don't know if it was just me or I don't know if you guys touched on this, but Josh Allen looked very erratic to me.
Coming
out of the gates
that
in
first
that
drive
game.
was ugly.
And I don't think maybe he righted the ship in the second half, and I didn't really get to see it, but he looked very erratic for a good part of the first quarter to me.
Yeah, I mean, that first drive, he overshot. I mean, he almost threw 3 different interceptions on that first possession.
At least 2.
At least 2, right? Like, I mean, that really did not set them up for a good start. That's for sure.
Anybody got anything in the chat?
Not really. Not really.
All right. That's all right. Maybe they got some feelings about the Super Bowl, though, because I don't know if Ryan's still in the chat with us. But to get some early...
The Super Bowl is literally going to be the only football game we have to talk about next week, so I didn't think I didn't know.
We're not going to hit. We're not going to hit on it. I just wanted to see what the early odds were. And by the way, nobody gives a damn about the Pro Bowl.
No.
Nobody.
No.
Nobody.
You Stinky Rangers.
Stinky
Sorry
Rangers.
for the interruption.
Yes! We love it. You can interrupt any time with that.
That was awesome. That was awesome. Uncle Erich, we're in the Rangers show. Got to call him out for it. That was so great.
It's all right. I got to take that one.
I wish I could give the 1940 chant. Let's go.
I got to take that one. But yeah, so I'm looking. They don't even have the odds here for this game because again, does anybody ever even bet the Pro Bowl? Is it even worth betting?
People definitely bet it. Yes.
But why?
Because
Are you that hard up?
Degenerate gamblers. Why not? There's always money to be made.
Yeah, yes, but I don't know. The Pro Bowl to me is boring. The Pro Bowl to me is something that I just, half the players don't even show up to. They end up getting reserve players, this, that, the other. I just don't know if it's really worth it. I know they try to stick it in this week between the Super Bowl to make people still care about it, because having it after the Super Bowl or some other time didn't really make sense. But
I feel like the Birds are kind of like the Avengers in this situation, because they started this behemoth and now they have to take it out. Right? Didn't it start with the Eagles Chiefs Super Bowl? 3 in a row?
did it? Yeah. I don't know.
I think it did.
Yep. So
now it's like they had to call Saquon Barkley, a.k.a. I guess Iron Man, Captain America. I don't know who you consider Saquon. I guess we'll call him Captain America because he was rocking the red, white, and the blue before. Now they got to knock off the evil villains. The evil villains of the Chiefs.
Makes me hate them even more.
Some people
they continuously make me root. They continuously make me root for dynasties. Like I had to root for the Patriots. Now I got to root for the Chiefs again. Which, also all this hatred for the Chiefs. A few years ago, everybody loved them. So it's crazy how quickly success.
It's lonely at the top.
Public opinion.
I will say that it is very, very lonely at the top. Nobody loves a winner. Listen, that's why nobody loves the Yankees. That's why they're the most hated team out there. They got more championships than everybody.
Dodgers are the most.
But again, now people are hating the Dodgers. It's always the teams that are on top. Nobody hates the Carolina Panthers.
But sticky with Joey's superhero theme, right? The number one superhero line, right? You either die a hero or live long enough to become a villain.
Boom.
Well, Andy Reid, Patrick Mahomes, 7 straight AFC Championship
All
games.
Andy Reid's got a chance to be the GOAT.
Bundle-Rooski. Get it out of my life.
Yeah, the commercials.
Get it out of my life, bro.
I'm just telling you.
Stop the insanity. Please, Saquon, please save us from the insanity.
Did Andy get one or two with the Eagles? Did Andy get 1 or 2 with the Eagles?
Andy got
zero.
Zero with the Eagles.
Okay. He went to 1 Super Bowl and 5 straight AFC.
When Terrell Owens broke his
I still think, and I'm still gonna die on this hill.
And outplayed Donovan McNabb.
I'm dying on the hill though. If the Chiefs win this Super Bowl and they three-peat, Andy Reid is in the conversation with Belichick, Parcells. He's there. I think he needs this. I think he's one step away. I think he is this away from being right there. Like sitting at the table with those few.
I mean, he's
on that note, when does Mahomes pass Brady?
In statistics, actually, over the first 8 years of their career, he's passed them, I think, in every statistical category. I actually saw something on that the other day. I think I sent it to you guys. So
he's already second. He already passed Joe Montana. Mahomes.
Yeah, as far as playoff wins, 17. Yeah, so he's alone in second place already as far as playoff wins. He's climbing up there as far as championships go. He's not at Brady's 7 yet level, but he's getting up. There. Mahomes getting up there. I just think that you look at it. Not even just Mahomes, but you have I think, again, when you look at it, you had Brady and Belichick. You have Andy Reid and Mahomes. Mm-hmm. That's like they come as a package deal. I think even though, Tom Brady went to Tampa, won a Super Bowl there, whatever, I still look at it as they were a package deal.
Against Kansas City, by the way.
But they were a package deal. Like, that's the way I look at it.
I gotta get going.
All right.
I gotta get going to do bedtime. I'm sure you guys already do the NFC Championship game, but I just wanted to say one thing. It's just a shame that Detroit was pulling guys for their secondary off the street, because I think we missed out on the best possible NFC Championship game we could have had.
Agreed.
Due to season-long injuries, which is a part of the game. I get it, but it was a bummer. I was hoping for a much better game at the 3:00 hour, but.
Yeah,
it is what it is. I got to get going. It's good to join you guys for a little bit.
Later,
absolutely.
I appreciate you, my man. Boo the Rangers. Boo
you stinky Rangers. That's what Reed says. Later, please.
Love you, brother. Talk to you soon. And that was Mr. Erich Pfeiffer joining
That's a nice
us.
little surprise. I know his schedule's been rough to join us, so it was nice to have him join.
It was great. Yeah, like you guys, I don't really want to get into this game, but I don't have much, to be honest. 45 minutes already almost. I don't have much on the Pro Bowl other than what we've talked about. I got nothing on that.
Pro Bowl.
I just know Drake May is now a Pro Bowl replacement.
That's what I mean. Like once you get to that level, you're be gone.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
I mean, I do appreciate the fact that they did away with the game, because the game just became completely and utterly embarrassing. The flag football game, you get to just watch these, and we always say, right, like when you watch guys in training camp or you watch the scouting combine, right, you're like, yeah, of course, these guys are freak athletes and they're just wearing shorts and a t-shirt with nobody hitting them. Of course they're going to look amazing. So at least they do that. I don't think I've ever watched more than like 5 minutes of the flag football game they play. I think it's more fun, like, that they brought back, like, the skills competition with, like, the quarterbacks throwing the ball.
I like that a lot.
I don't, like, make it a point to watch it, but, like, if I'm just, like, on Thursday if I'm just sitting on the couch and doing nothing, like, yeah, I'll probably pop it on just to, for some background entertainment, but I'll still do things around the house. Like, I'm not going to be glued to the TV. I think it's probably more entertaining watching the awards show the Friday night before the Super Bowl, to be completely honest with you. Just like, I mean, the Walter Payton Man of the Year, MVP, your offensive player. Like, this is one of the probably few years I can think of in my life where, like, you've got 3 guys, hell, 4 if you want to say it, 4 different guys that really have the right to be mentioned in the MVP combo, right? With Allen and Lamar. Jackson. And then Saquon and
Henry.
Burrow's another one you could even consider. Henry, yeah. Like, I mean, you're like, a running back actually has a legitimate argument to win.
When you
the
rush
MVP.
for 2,000 yards, you should have a legitimate argument.
We all know the MVP is a quarterback award. Like, they should just call it quarterback of the year, because they don't give it to anybody else. It's been over 20 years. I think Adrian Peterson was the last player to win MVP.
Which is crazy, because also Jamar Chase as a receiver, did he just win the Triple Crown?
He won the triple, led the league in receptions, yards, and touchdowns.
Ridiculous.
And he's not even close. In a conversation. Like, nobody even mentions his name. Instead, he's part of the offensive player of the year, because they basically look at MVP as a quarterback award. And they should, because they're not going to give him MVP. He, without a doubt, is the offensive player of the year. There's no question about it.
Jamar winning the Triple Crown is just insane, and nah.
Yeah, it is crazy to think about. But like that like some of the like that to me next Tuesday, like, I think it'd be fun for us to kind of have that be the other part of our football combo. Like, we preview the Super Bowl, we make our predictions. We do that, right?
Let's see if there's any prop bets we can do.
Let's look like
let's look at our coin toss every year. I'm on. The other one I'm always big on. Dave can vouch for this. Over or under on the national anthem.
Okay.
That is my favorite bet of the Super Bowl. Don't ask me why.
You're gonna need like Word Up or like a pen and paper. Like,
I'll have it.
Where's Mike at? Like, Mike always kept track of all that stuff for us. Like, shout out to Mike.
Do you always do like heads? Or always tails? Or
no, I switch it up. It's what you're feeling.
Yeah, no.
What color is the Gatorade
going to be? Like, I think.
Oh yeah, love the Gatorade. Yeah. The coin toss, the Gatorade, and the national anthem are 3 that I every year.
So I think that, like, for anybody that's still out there listening to us, for our YouTube viewers,
like, subscribe, follow, share, do those things too.
But like, I think that's going to be a fun one. So I really hope you guys can join us next week, because I'd love to even tally votes up in our chat on YouTube. Have people comment on the post that, when Erich throws it up on the Facebook page, on all the podcasts. Like, would love to really get a bunch of votes in there. And then another thing I was thinking about bringing back. Remember back in the day we used to do the NCAA bracket?
Yeah, we should do the bracket.
Everybody would submit their bracket.
Oh my God, I don't know anything now about that.
No, the bracket's about throwing a pencil in the ceiling, flipping quarters. The bracket is
we'd be doing it online so that everybody could keep track of it. I don't know about you or me, but I don't want to be.
I don't have the time to keep track of it.
I'd be telling you guys right now, I'm already putting Duke as my winner. Cooper Flag, let's go, bro.
That kid.
All right,
that kid is special. It makes me sick.
That's already my winner.
That makes me sick. As a Tar Heel fan, that makes me sick. But
speaking of a real winner, though. And that's going to bring me to our knuckleheaded news of the week. Oh, no. That's a beauty.
Because there's been some trades in the WNBA. I just don't know enough about the players to say things.
There were, but no, I was keeping it in the football realm, actually, because how do we not talk about your brand new head coach, Brian Schottenheimer?
Oh, God.
Because it came out on a Friday, baby.
The next puppet.
But exactly, and that's why I needed to get there, and I didn't know if you were avoiding the topic and trying to get us maybe past it before we got to it. But I had to get your opinion because Brian Schottenheimer couldn't have been the guy you were thinking of when you got rid of McCarthy.
No, why would you? How do I say this without sounding like a complete idiot? Why would you employ the guy that was the offensive coordinator of the head coach that you just let go because your offense struggled this year? Simultaneously, why would you offer a head coaching job to a guy that literally no other team in the league wanted? But I think more importantly is I don't know if there's anybody out there that wants to come actually coach in Dallas. I don't think guys want to deal with Jerry.
I think Dion did, but I don't think he wanted to deal with Jerry. I'll bet you that was the hang-up.
And that's the thing. Jerry wants complete control. Jerry and Steven want to control everything and look at the coach and say, your job is strictly to coach. Where a coach needs to be able to say, hey, I get that, but I should have input on who we draft. I should have input on our free agency, how we should do these things. But that press conference, I watched an 8-minute long video where Jerry literally gets the reporter, Patrick No C. Williams. He's my favorite Cowboys beat writer. He reports for DallasCowboys.com. Huge fan of him. He is a guy that tells it straight. He's a guy where if a Cowboys fan argues with his opinion and sounds like an idiot, he will straight up call them an idiot. He is one of my favorite people to follow on Twitter. And he was the guy that asked them about, with the issues you had this year with a lack of depth and not going out in free agency and bringing guys in and how you handled things with Dak Prescott and how you handled things with CeeDee Lamb. Are you looking around the league at potential other ways to handle your salary cap and handle free agency and how you sign players? For example, literally said it to Jerry Jones' face. Specifically the Eagles, who are now going to their second Super Bowl in 3 years. Are you considering making any changes? Well, and Jerry comes back with the most asinine answer. Basically says, well, salary cap is what the salary cap is. We all have to live in that salary cap. We can only control so much. We can't do this. I'm sorry, for anybody that is out there listening, the salary cap is not real in football. It is a hard set number that, yes, they cannot spend more than that number in a season. But there are so many ways to manipulate the salary cap. And then, dead money. Shut up about dead money. The Eagles have twice as much dead money this year than the Cowboys had going into this year. The Eagles spend more on having less salary cap room this year than the Cowboys had. And who's in the Super Bowl? Who's not? Who literally could have punched their ticket to Cabo by week 11? It's the most asinine thing. Schottenheimer, look, I don't know the man. He's never been a head coach. So, look, when it's all said and done, the man could surprise the world and be the greatest head coach Dallas has had since Jimmy Johnson. Is that possible? Yes. Do I think it's going to happen? Hell freaking no. I think you are basically looking at Jason Garrett 2.0, a guy that will get this team, because they have enough talent, to 500, slightly above 500, competing for the division, a wild card spot, whatever it is, maybe even potentially get into a 1 seed randomly like they did with Garrett the 1 year. I don't freaking know. But do I have any faith in the hire? Not at all. Do I have any faith in Dallas organization top to bottom? No. So the reason I didn't bring it up was just simply I have nothing positive to say. And look, I hope me and 98% of Cowboys Nation is wrong, and this guy is, again, the best coach Dallas has had since Jimmy Johnson. But that's not going to be the case. But I hope I eat those words with just shove it in my face and make me eat those words. I hope that's the case, but I don't think I'm wrong at all, and I'd put money on it.
So I was watching the Rich Eisen show, and he had Mike Florio on, and he said it was about continuity with Dak.
Yeah.
That Dak preferred somebody he's already been familiar with. So Schottenheimer, being Mike McCarthy's OC the last few years, there's familiarity there, and that's why Kellen Moore was also a top candidate, because he also worked with Dak for
several years. He was the quarterback behind Dak.
I thought Kellen Moore was actually going to be your next head coach.
I did too. That was who I had my money on. But yeah, no. And look, by all means, you want to keep your $60 million quarterback happy, fine. But your $60 million quarterback needs a hell of a lot more around him than CD Lamb.
You're not wrong, dude.
Like Jake Ferguson, they bet on him this year, and he was a royal disappointment. That offensive line, they put 2 rookies to start and replaced one guy that was a Pro Bowler, potentially future Hall of Fame left tackle, who, don't get me wrong, did not have the greatest season with the Jets. But he played better than the rookie that they had start at left tackle. Oh, by the way, that rookie they started at left tackle spent his entire college career playing right tackle. The rookie they started at center spent his entire college career playing left guard. So not only did they start 2 rookies, but they had 2 rookies start in positions they never played before. So in Dallas's eyes, they're like, oh, well, now they got a year under their belt. They'll develop. They'll be even better next year. And again, you hope that's the case. But Jerry Jones spends way too much time living in what ifs instead of going after and doing sure things like the Eagles did with Saquon Barkley, for example. You knew you were getting a great running back, and you knew you already had a really, really good to great offensive line. And those 2 things married together lead to being a 2,000-yard rusher and in the MVP conversation. Dallas injuries, and all you need is a couple injuries with this team because they just believe in let's just build through the draft and free agency. We're just going to find the bottom of the pile. So,
well, I believe your fellow Cowboys fan can at least make you a little bit happy because he subscribed.
All right, Jeff Keating, my man. Appreciate you, brother.
And Ryan was loving your rant right now, Dave.
I had to let him go. I had to let him go. Sometimes you just got to rant. And I knew it was in there somewhere, Joey, because with that hire, you can't just have nothing to say about a Brian Schottenheimer. I'm sorry.
Yeah, no.
I had to give Dave his due there.
The funny thing is I could keep going, but within 2 to 3 minutes of keep going, I'd start running in circles. I'd just be saying the same thing, just in different ways. So So I mean, as a Giant fan,
I'm okay. I'm okay with the hire. Again, I think it's exactly what you said, Dave. I think it's Garrett 2.0. I think Kellen Moore would have been a little bit more of at least an exciting hire because if you're going to go with somebody, I think he's a little bit younger. He's back up there, but then he would have been the prototypical Jason Garrett 2.0 because Jason Garrett was a backup quarterback for years there too before he became the head coach. So it would have been way too many parallels, and I think that's why maybe they went with Schottenheimer. But either way,
Jerry Jones is an idiot. That's
your
follow-up to either
I
way.
expect that the Dallas team will probably compete, but with the way Washington's stepping up, Dallas may be looking at like competing for second and third in that division.
Dallas is definitely going to compete. They're not going to go from
if they can
3
stay
straight
healthy,
12-win seasons to losing their QB quarter.
When they lost DeMarcus Lawrence and Micah Parsons, it put too much pressure on the offense, and they didn't have enough talent. Then Jerry Jones, and because again, right, Mike McCarthy had no power, so Jerry Jones is like, let's sign Zeke Elliott and make him our starting running back. That was another idiotic decision. 2 rookies starting on your offensive line. No true number 2 wide receiver that you can trust in. A tight end that wasn't what you were hoping he was going to be. That offense got too much pressure put on him and didn't have the talent to support that pressure. And the defense didn't have enough depth. So, I mean, it is what it is. But the players apparently like Schottenheimer. That's a good start, right? They've all been in the building with him. That's a good start, but I have no faith in the guy.
And Joey, I can't leave you out of this conversation because you finally got a GM to go with your head coach because everybody knows that's how you hire things. Is you hire the coach first and then the GM because that's how it works. But is this the one that you were thinking about? Is this the guy that you were planning on them bringing over?
About anybody, bro.
Well, no. But I thought you had told me about there was somebody in Detroit that he was going to bring over with him.
Detroit, Lance Newmark, but they didn't decide to go that way. Everybody assumed because of their relationship in Detroit that Glenn was just going to bring him along, but the 33rd team didn't feel that way. And we brought over the assistant GM from the Broncos, Muji. I don't know his first name, but I know his last name. I know Muji. I couldn't tell you anything that he's done. Hopefully he was the one who banged on the table for Bo Nix last year,
Yeah, right. Slap Sean Payton in the back of the head. That's your guy, Sean. Trust me. That would make you feel a lot better about it, right?
Other than that, I have no clue.
Can we at least agree?
These are all first-time head coach.
Can
But have they
we
had
at least
any luck
agree
with
though
first
that
time?
Aaron Glenn brought that
He
Dan
brought
Campbell attitude to his opening
Yes, he
presser?
did, dude.
We're the effing Jets. I was like,
Let's go, bro.
you gotta like that. I mean, it could mean absolutely nothing, but you gotta like a guy that has that attitude.
But
like,
at least you won the press conference so far. That's a step one check.
and let's not forget, a lot of people hated the Dan Campbell hire when they hired him, and now people are like,
The
Detroit
biting
can't let him
knees
go anywhere.
comments got to people, and now he really is. He's smashing people.
The Jets are like the Mets, though, kind of the little brothers in New York. That's just,
Hey,
So they can bring that attitude, but
so
you got
Buffalo would be the oldest brother, though, right? Because it's
Buffalo-
definitely not the Giants.
Buffalo's
Buffalo's
the only
like
brother.
your distant cousin that comes for
Buffalo,
holidays.
Buffalo's the guy that's a senior while the Jets and Giants are still in elementary school.
Buffalo is the only brother
True New York team.
True New York team. So therefore, yeah, Jersey
I guess
is
cousin
where
could
New
work.
York, the Giants and Jets play. They have New York, but they're Jersey, baby. They both practice and play in Jersey.
They do. That they do.
And they only play in
However,
New York when they play the Bills.
Any other coaching moves? I'm trying to think. I think I'm missing a coaching move, but I think there was another coaching
Liam
move.
Cohen went to Jacksonville. He got Trent Baalke fired.
I know what I'm thinking about. Eberflus.
Eberflus.
Matt Eberflus going to Dallas
Dallas
as a
new
defensive
coordinator.
coordinator.
Yo,
How
that-
about an Eberflus sighting?
What's wrong with that?
Eberflus got
He's
the
a
head
great
coaching
DC.
job because of his ability to be a DC. That's how he got hired. He was
He's
a
a
horrible
great
head
DC,
coach.
dude.
He was a bad head coach.
But I think, honestly, my biggest concern about that hire more than anything else is it's going to be the third different scheme this Dallas defense is going to play in 3 different years.
What
And
kind of scheme does he have?
I think he runs more of a 4-3. But honestly, at the same time, as long as Micah Parsons stays healthy,
Doesn't matter.
this defense can make plays. Like he is that. I mean, that the only reason Dallas even stayed relevant after he came back was because he was back. Like
I saw Diggs. He's getting knee surgery. He's gonna be out for a while.
I wouldn't be surprised if they actually move on from Diggs. I don't want them to. I like Diggs, but I wouldn't be surprised if they move on from him.
yeah, I could see that too.
Eberflus gonna be good for them, man. Everybody's saying it's a trash hire. Like even our buddy Justin and Noose were like making fun of it. Nah, bro, he's a very good DC. I think it's gonna be a great move. I think it's a good hire. I really do.
I'm with your boys there, and I'm going to say
You think it's a trash hire?
I'm not a fan of it.
I mean, I can't remember who he was D coordinator for.
The Rams, bro. He won a ring.
Oh, he was their defense coordinator when they won the Super Bowl?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I didn't know that. Well, I mean, when you have a guy like Aaron Donald, though, it makes your job a lot easier. So I guess you give a guy like Micah Parsons.
You're not wrong on that.
But Aaron Donald's ability to impact the middle of the pocket and cause quarterbacks to be uncomfortable is not something Micah
Didn't they
does.
trade for Jalen Ramsey too that year?
Yeah, they had Ramsey at some
Yeah,
point.
remember, the Rams said screw drafting.
Yeah, they
Yeah,
said,
they
we're-
did.
we're
That's
taking-
how I
we're taking-
remember
We're
Rams
taking
having
proven
going that
commodities.
day,
We're
And-
going all in.
And they even traded for Von Miller that year too.
Yep.
Yeah, this. I think this is the first year in like 5 years the Rams have a first round draft.
Something
pick.
like that.
Like it's literally, and they finally had a good year, so they're not even going to pick high.
And Brian brought up Pete Carroll to the Raiders.
Yeah, that was the one I was missing. That was the head coach I was missing. Thank you,
Ryan.
Ryan. 'Cause I knew I was forgetting one, and that's a big one.
I like
because he's
it.
in his 70s.
I wanted Pete
but
Carroll
you're not
for the
getting.
Jets,
So
bro.
what did they? Was it a 3-year or a 5-year deal? I think it was a 3-year deal.
I think it's a 4. I think it's a 4-year deal.
No, so both of you are right and kind of wrong, but not fully wrong. It's a it's a 3-year deal with a team team.
Okay,
and,
team option for
each
fourth.
each crew. The team and the player or coach have an option.
Okay.
So like
Interesting.
if Pete Carroll's like I want to keep going and the Raiders like no, it's done. Simultaneously, if the Raiders like we want to keep going, Pete Carroll's like no, it's done. So the 3 years are the only 3. The first 3 are I believe what he has locked in.
But after those 3, I believe he's going to be 75. Like
He's the
how
oldest
much?
coach in the NFL.
Yeah.
How much longer does he have the juice? And
This-
can he still bring it with the young? Now, the one thing he'll have is he's
gonna
going to
bring
have
it.
a young team. So he's going to have a young quarterback. He's going to have the best young tight end in the league in Brock Bowers.
He loves
And
young teams too, man. He
He
has
does,
so
he
much
does,
energy.
but he
relates
doesn't
to
have
the
a
young
back. He
kids,
doesn't have a
man.
back like Marshawn Lynch though right now, and I think he needs to find that
Hey,
back.
maybe they trade back and they draft Genty, bro.
Maybe.
I'm just saying. I think it's
I have a
easy.
feeling they're going quarterback, though. I really do.
I mean, Ryan brings up in the chat maybe Russ to Vegas.
That's what I saw today. Russell Wilson maybe going to Vegas as a bridge quarterback. Take a guy in like the second or third round.
Like a Quinn Ewers or
Yeah,
something.
somebody and just let him sit.
maybe
by.
not.
I think that they're going to end up bringing in somebody like a Shorter Sanders or something. What do they have? The
see.
second pick? They got the second pick?
No. The Browns and the Titans have the Titans have the
So
1. The Browns have the 2.
Where are the Raiders? Because they're not far
I think
down.
6, because the Giants have the 3, right?
I think the Raiders can make a move because I don't think they're going to stay at 6. I could be 100% wrong.
You're not wrong.
But I
on
think
that.
they're going to try to make a move for a quarterback because right now they don't have one. Like
No, they don't.
They don't. They have Gardner Minshew and Aiden O'Connell, and that to me sounds a lot like Danny DeVito and Drew Lock. And, the Minshew magic works occasionally, but I mean, I think you got to recharge.
Backup, bro.
You got to recharge that battery.
There you go, dude.
Yeah.
But the whole season you can't. Minshew's not a.
He's not as good. He's basically Ryan Fitzpatrick. A little. I think Patrick was a little bit better.
He's the
but-
Temu version of Ryan Fitzpatrick.
Oh God, that's cold. Fucking Temu.
Oh, poor Gardner Minshew.
So, like we said before, make sure you like, share, subscribe,
Do all those things.
and we want as many of you out there listening to be with us next week because I think we have a lot of fun with the prop bets, seeing other people's opinions,
Absolutely.
right? Like I think we have a lot of fun with that. Over under with the national anthem, game picks, MVP pick, like who's going to be MVP. Like I think we'd have a lot of fun with it.
Caitlin Clark. Oh, you meant NFL, like Super Bowl
for the
MVP,
Super Bowl
not
MVP.
WNBA.
Yeah,
Oh my
MVP.
God! If I can bet on that, I'm gonna see if I can bet on that.
You probably could.
You
already
could bet
put
on a
that
futures
there,
bet,
Caitlin
but I
Clark.
guarantee you she's like
The
plus
odds
whatever, like-
minus 1,000.
yeah, exactly, or something like she's gonna be some ridiculous odds.
Because if she's plus,
She's
anything,
the
I'm
odds-on
betting
favorite. She is the odds-on
If
favorite to
she's
win.
plus anything, I will
think
bet
about it.
on it.
She's not gonna have to go straight from playing
College.
the college season,
actually
the
go-
college NCAA tournament.
No, she's chilling with T Swift at these games.
But that's what I mean. Like 3 weeks later, she's starting her first WNBA game. Like that turnaround's insane. Like now she gets a full off season, full training camp, gets to mesh with her teammates more.
Gets to put on some weight.
She's gonna have to.
This
Because this
isn't-
league's still gonna
This
go
isn't a
after her.
prop bet, but
She's
it's a
gonna
bet
dominate
or
this.
something I want to throw out to you guys. Because I think it's 100% chance of it happening. I'm going to die on this hill. I think she is in the booth with T Swift at the Super Bowl.
I don't know about that one.
She was there for the playoff game this past week.
She was there for the week before too. So
So I don't know about this week.
Swiftie
Maybe it
could
was the week before I saw her, but I think she will be at the Super Bowl in T Swift's box.
Yeah, I don't know if she was in this week, but she was definitely last week. But well, I don't know about you guys.
I think Louis just said it was time for dinner. So so I don't know about you guys.
because the belly's
But,
growling. I got burger meat defrosted, ready to grill up.
And I tell you what, we're gonna make sure that we have all those WNBA trades ready to go next week as well. So because listen, nobody talks more WNBA than we do. So we need to make sure we got those ready to go as well. So we're gonna have that plus everything Super Bowl related. We're gonna have prop bets. We're gonna have game bets. We're gonna have game analysis. We're gonna do it all here. But to make sure you see that, though, next week, make sure you like, subscribe, follow, share. Please do all those things for us. Please. Shout out to Jeff for subscribing tonight. We appreciate that. Also, follow us on Facebook as well. Once we hit 100 there, we're going to start streaming live there as well. I'm working on getting some short-form content out. Hopefully have that out soon. Video aspect of it's tripping me up a little bit, but we're getting it worked out. Either way, I'm so excited to do this every week with you guys. I can't wait until Super Bowl week next week. And to be honest, I'm even excited for the weeks after because we've talked no hockey the last few weeks. We've talked no basketball the last few weeks. And pitchers and catchers will be starting probably the week after the Super Bowl's over.
It's silly, bro.
It's so fast. And then we're coming up on March Madness, which is going to be 2 weeks after the Super Bowl ends. So I mean, like, it's all
come
coming
up
in.
fast.
It's gonna be a busy sports time of year. I start getting excited around this time of year because who doesn't get excited for the Super Bowl? Plus, like I said, baseball getting started. Plus, basketball and hockey coming up towards trade deadlines. They're more than midway through the seasons now. And their seasons, and there's just so much more to talk. So I'm looking forward to having Fife back on again to talk hockey with us because nobody's better than him and Shmuel Rose. And listen, I'll take a PU Rangers stink any day from Reed. So, yeah. Love doing this for you guys. Can't wait for next week and every week after.
Later, guys.
Till next week. Well, hang on. You guys
Joey
didn't.
Doth.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
my
yeah.
bad.
Joey Doth, 47
Yeah.
on the IG.
The Hastings 23.
On the IG, David Hastings 23 on Twitter, now known as X.
At the Living Legend on X. At Die on This Hill on
He's about to say
YouTube.
die on this YouTube.
At Die on This Hill on Facebook. Follow us, like, subscribe, share, do all those free fun things for us. And as always, don't be afraid to have an opinion and die on that hill with us.
Well, yeah, I know we're wrapping up. It's dinner time. It's dinner time. Don't worry, we're wrapping.